Imagine this. You wake up tomorrow morning just like any other day. The sun is coming through your window. You reach for your phone to check the time and maybe scroll through a few messages. But instead of the usual notifications, you see something that makes your stomach drop. It is a message from your bank. Your car broke down yesterday and needs repairs. Your insurance bill arrived earlier than expected. Your refrigerator stopped working overnight and everything inside is ruined. Total cost for all of this? $1,000. Not $10,000. Not $100,000. Not some huge life-changing amount. Just one simple $1,000. Now here is the shocking part that most people do not realize. For almost half of all Americans, that single bill would create a crisis. Not an inconvenience. Not a minor annoyance. A real crisis. They would have to choose which bill to pay late. They would have to borrow from someone. They would have to put it on a credit card and hope they can pay it off later. And the strange thing about this situation is that most people actually know exactly how to fix this problem. They know they should have savings. They know they should have a cushion. They know it is the responsible thing to do. But they still do not do it. Today I am going to explain why this happens. I am going to show you what money actually does to your brain, both when you have it and when you do not. And I am going to explain why having cash sitting in the bank might be the most powerful financial move you can possibly make, more powerful than any investment or stock pick. When people talk about money and building wealth, they usually focus on the big exciting things. They talk about investments and stocks and real estate and retirement accounts and cryptocurrency. Those things are important for long-term growth. But there is one financial tool that almost everyone ignores, even though it is the foundation of everything else. That tool is cash. Not investments. Not crypto. Not complicated strategies. Just simple, boring, ordinary cash sitting in your bank account. Most financial advice will tell you that cash is for emergencies. It is a safety net. It is something you hope you never have to use. That explanation is correct as far as it goes. But it is incomplete. It misses the bigger picture. Because cash does not just protect you from bad things happening. Cash actually changes how your entire life works. It changes how you think. It changes how you negotiate with employers and landlords and everyone else. It changes how you make decisions. It changes how confident you feel in everyday situations. Cash is not just a number on a screen. It is a tool that transforms your psychology. Researchers from Princeton University and Harvard University studied what happens to the human brain when money becomes a constant source of stress and worry. Their discovery was surprising and disturbing at the same time. Financial stress does not just make people feel anxious. It actually reduces their mental capacity. It makes them less intelligent in measurable ways. Think of your brain like a smartphone. Normally, it can run many different applications at the same time. You can plan for the future. You can learn new things. You can solve problems. You can think about your goals and dreams. But when money problems appear, one giant application opens up and takes over everything. That application is called How Do I Survive This Month? Suddenly your brain is busy calculating all the time. Can I pay the rent? Can I afford groceries this week? Which bill can I delay without getting in trouble? Can I make it to the next paycheck? This constant calculating uses so much mental energy that your brain has less power left for everything else. Psychologists call this effect tunneling. Your attention becomes narrow and focused only on the immediate problem in front of you. Everything else disappears. Your career growth disappears. Your investing plans disappear. Your health disappears. Your future opportunities disappear. Your brain simply tries to survive the present moment. And that survival mode, that constant state of crisis, is what keeps millions of people stuck in the same place year after year. Now imagine a completely different situation. Imagine you have 6 months of basic living expenses saved in a bank account. The money is just sitting there. You know it is there. You know you can access it anytime you need it. You do not have to ask permission. You do not have to explain yourself to anyone. It is yours. Suddenly something amazing happens in your mind. The noise disappears. That quiet fear that was always lurking in the back of your mind starts to fade away. You know that if something breaks, you can fix it. If you lose your job, you have time to find a new one without panicking. If an opportunity comes up, you can take it. Your brain becomes calmer. And when the brain is calm, it becomes smarter. You think more clearly. You plan better for the future. You become more creative. Instead of just reacting to problems as they come, you start designing the life you actually want. This mental freedom is something that money can buy. It is not about being rich. It is about having enough cushion that you are not constantly in survival mode. And this freedom is much more powerful than most people realize. Let us imagine two different employees. They work the same job at the same company. They earn the same salary. They have the same skills and experience. But there is one difference between them. Person A has 6 months of living expenses saved in the bank. Person B lives paycheck to paycheck and has no savings at all. Now it is time for both of them to negotiate a raise with their boss. Person A can walk into that meeting with confidence. They can say, "I believe my work deserves higher pay, and here is why." If the company says no, Person A has options. They can look for another job. They can wait for the right opportunity. They are not desperate. Person B thinks very differently in that same meeting. Their mind is full of fear. What if I lose my job for asking? What if they get angry? What if I cannot pay rent next month? That fear changes everything. So they ask for less than they deserve. They accept whatever offer comes quickly. They settle. Over 10 or 20 years, this small difference in confidence and negotiating power can add up to hundreds of thousands of dollars in lost income. Not because Person B is less talented. Not because they work less hard. But because they do not have the financial security that gives them the power to ask for what they deserve. There is something that economists call the poverty premium. It means that being poor is actually more expensive than having money. It sounds backwards, but it is true. Here is why. When you do not have cash, every single decision becomes urgent. You cannot buy groceries in bulk because that costs more money up front. So you pay more per item every single week. You cannot fix your car when the small problem first appears because you do not have the money. So the small problem becomes a big expensive repair later. You cannot wait for discounts or sales because you need things right now. So you pay full price every time. Little by little, month by month, these extra costs add up to thousands of dollars every single year. The less money you have, the more expensive life becomes. But when you have savings, you can choose the best option instead of the fastest one. You can buy in bulk and save. You can fix things early before they break completely. You can wait for sales and discounts. You have choices. Money does not just protect you from bad situations. It also allows you to capture good ones when they appear. Imagine the stock market suddenly drops by 30%. Many investors panic and sell everything because they are scared. But people who have cash sitting in the bank see something completely different. They see a sale. They see great investments available at low prices. They buy when everyone else is selling. Years later, when the market recovers and goes higher, those investments grow dramatically. Opportunities like this appear constantly in life, not just in the stock market. A business idea comes up but requires some money to start. A piece of property becomes available at a good price. A new career opportunity requires taking a pay cut for a year before it pays off. If you have no financial cushion, you cannot move. You watch from the sidelines while others take advantage. People with savings have options. People without savings have limits. Building savings sounds difficult and overwhelming when you are starting from zero. But the process is actually very simple. It just takes time and consistency. Step 1 is to calculate your basic monthly expenses. Add up your housing costs, food, transportation, utilities, and anything else you absolutely need to survive. Multiply that number by 3. That becomes your first goal. Not 6 months yet. Just 3 months. That feels more achievable. Step 2 is to automate your savings. Set up an automatic transfer from your checking account to a savings account every single time you get paid. Even $200 per month adds up over time. $200 per month becomes $2,400 in a year. That is real money. Step 3 is to keep this money somewhere safe and accessible. A high-yield savings account is perfect. Not invested in the stock market where it could go down. Not in something complicated. Just simple cash that you can get to any time. Remember what this money is for. It is not meant to grow fast. It is not meant to make you rich. It is meant to protect you. Think of it like the foundation of a house. You do not build a house on sand. You build it on something strong and solid. Your emergency fund is that foundation. The biggest benefit of having savings is not the interest it earns. It is not the small amount of growth you get from a bank account. The biggest benefit is freedom. Freedom to negotiate without fear. Freedom to take risks that could pay off. Freedom to think clearly without constant noise in your head. Freedom to make decisions based on opportunity instead of panic. And that freedom changes absolutely everything about your life. It changes how you feel when you wake up in the morning. It changes how you interact with the world. It changes what you believe is possible for your future. If this video helped you understand money in a new way, make sure to subscribe to the channel. On this channel we break down money, investing, and life decisions into simple ideas that anyone can understand, even kids. Because financial knowledge should not be complicated. It should be clear enough that everyone can use it. And before you leave, write one sentence in the comments. Write, "Today I start building my financial cushion." Make it real. Put it out there. Because small actions, repeated consistently over time, are what create the biggest changes in life. Not one big dramatic move. Just small steps, day after day. Thanks for watching. And I will see you in the next video.